Every evening, just as the sun dipped below the horizon, a small boy appeared outside the old city hospital. He couldn't have been more than 12 years old. He wore a faded blue coat, carried a worn leather satchel, and held dozens of tiny glass bottles that sparkled in the evening light. But what made people stop and stare was not the bottles. It was what he asked for. He never begged for money. He never asked for food. Instead, he smiled gently and said, "May I have your happiest smile?" Some people laughed. Some ignored him. Others thought he was simply a strange child with an even stranger hobby. Whenever someone smiled at him with genuine happiness, the boy carefully uncorked a tiny bottle. A soft golden light floated from the person's smile into the bottle, glowing like a tiny firefly. He would seal it tightly, thank them politely, and continue walking. Nobody understood why. Rumors spread through the town. Some whispered that he was a magician. Others believed he was collecting souls. Many children were warned to stay away from him. Yet every evening, the mysterious boy returned, and every evening, his collection grew. Inside the hospital lived an elderly gardener named Mr. Elias. Years earlier, he had planted every flower surrounding the building. Though his body had grown weak, he still smiled warmly at every visitor. One evening, the strange boy approached him. "May I have your happiest smile?" The old man chuckled. "My happiest smile?" He looked toward the colorful garden outside his hospital window. "I've had thousands." He closed his eyes. "I smiled when my daughter took her first steps. When my wife said yes. When I planted the very first rose outside this hospital. And today," he smiled once more, "because I was able to watch the sunset." The brightest golden light the boy had ever seen drifted gently into a bottle. It glowed brighter than all the others. The boy bowed respectfully. "Thank you." The old gardener simply nodded. "You must have an important reason for collecting smiles." The boy smiled quietly. "One day, you'll understand." Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Every evening, the mysterious collection grew larger. Tiny bottles filled shelves inside the boy's little wooden cabin, hidden deep within the forest. Each bottle glowed softly with its own warmth. Happy birthdays, family reunions, acts of forgiveness, moments of courage. Each smile held a beautiful memory. The cabin looked like a sky full of tiny golden stars. Then, one stormy night, everything changed. Dark clouds swallowed the sky. Thunder shook the city. Rain poured harder than anyone had ever seen. Lightning struck the main power station. The entire city went dark, including the hospital. Inside, machines stopped. Hallways disappeared into darkness. Children cried. Patients became frightened. Doctors rushed desperately with only small flashlights. Outside, the boy looked toward the dark hospital. His eyes widened. "This is the night," he whispered. Without hesitation, he grabbed his satchel. Inside were hundreds of glowing bottles. He ran through the pouring rain, faster than he had ever run before. He burst through the hospital doors. The frightened people stared at him in confusion. Without saying a word, he uncorked the first bottle. A tiny golden butterfly floated into the air. Then another, and another. Soon, hundreds of glowing butterflies filled every hallway. Each butterfly carried the warmth of a real smile. They floated gently through every room. Children stopped crying. Patients smiled through their fear. Doctors could suddenly see clearly enough to help those in need. The butterflies rested above hospital beds, glowing like tiny stars. The dark building slowly became brighter than daylight. People watched in silent amazement. The mysterious boy had never been collecting smiles for himself. He had been saving hope. In the children's ward, a little girl who had been terrified reached toward one glowing butterfly. "What is this?" she whispered. The butterfly landed softly on her hand. She smiled, and instantly, the butterfly became even brighter. The boy realized something incredible. Hope grows when it is shared. Every new smile created another glowing butterfly. Soon, the entire hospital shimmered with thousands of golden lights dancing through the air. Outside, people gathered in the rain. Looking through the windows, they saw the hospital glowing like a castle made of stars. For the first time in years, the whole city smiled together. By morning, electricity returned. Sunlight filled the rooms. One by one, the butterflies drifted toward the open sky. Before disappearing into the clouds, they left tiny golden sparkles floating through the air. Everyone searched for the mysterious boy, but he was gone. Only one empty glass bottle remained on a hospital bench. Inside it was a small handwritten note. "A smile may last only a moment, but the hope it creates can light someone's darkest night." Years passed. The story became a legend. Parents told it to their children. Doctors told it to new nurses. Visitors still smiled a little brighter whenever they entered the hospital, because no one knew. Perhaps somewhere nearby, a quiet boy in a faded blue coat was still walking through another town, carrying a satchel filled with empty glass bottles, waiting for someone willing to share a single, genuine smile. And perhaps that one smile would someday become the light that saves another life. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of a sincere smile. A single moment of kindness can become hope for someone facing their darkest hour.